Welcome for joining me on today's edition of Healing Conversation with Patricia Abokede. And I'm glad we are having this conversation. All right, so welcome to my channel, and I celebrate you for joining this session. So for those that are joining for the first time, my name is Patricia Abokede. I'm a child protection advocate, a trauma recovery, a trauma parenting coach, and I help people understand themselves, heal from emotional abuse, and also break on a healthy relationship and build a healthy family life. That is what I love to do, and that is what I specialize in. Today we are talking about something a lot of people are struggling with. Honestly speaking, a lot of people, especially women, and not just women, even some men, are in this very toxic relationship, and we are talking about why you attract toxic or narcissistic relationship. I must tell you, I have met a lot of people who are going through one toxic relationship or the other, intimate partner violence relationship, terrible relationships, and they are stuck in it. And that is what we are looking at. That's what we are unraveling today. So have you ever found yourself asking these questions? Why does this keep happening to me? Maybe you've been having series of unhealthy relationship, and when you break it comes again. Or you are in a relationship, you are not happy in that relationship, it's a toxic relationship, and you are stuck in that relationship. Why is that happening? We are going to be unraveling that. Or you're asking yourself a question, why do I keep meeting this kind of people? You feel, I'm not going to have this kind of relationship again. You've told yourself, you are signed off, but the next relationship is somebody similar to that previous toxic relationship, and you are beginning to ask, is something wrong with me? Or you're asking this question, why do I give so much and still get hurt? You give in your time, you give your time, your money, your energy to relationship. You just give and give and give, but at the end of the day, you are the one that loses. You are the receiving end. Why does this always happen? We are going to be unraveling that very soon. So if this sounds familiar, if now you've been asking yourself these questions, or you've seen yourself in a relationship like this, I want to tell you that you are not alone. A lot of people are in this kind of toxic relationship, but we are going to, start a journey that will break that cycle of unhealthy relationship today. We are going to be discussing why are you being in that relationship, and what can you do to begin to learn to also avoid keep entering into such relationship. All right, so I'm going to be saying from beginning, I'm not here to blame you, or hold you, I'm guilty, or I'm not here to blame you for anything they are going through. No, that's not what I'm here to do. And this is not about saying you deserve a toxic, maybe because you have a character or a behavior, you deserve a bad relationship. No, nobody deserves any toxic relationship. Nobody deserves to be feeling unloved. Nobody deserves to give so much and get too little. Nobody deserves that. So I'm not here to blame you or to cast a finger at you. No. And this is about helping you understand what may be influencing this repetition of toxic relationship. That is what we are looking at, to be able to help you to help you to what is happening. Why are you making those choices? What is influencing it? And how can you break loose of this pattern? How can you break loose? How can you, especially for those that are still single? Now, if you are married, of course, I'm not saying you should stay in a toxic relationship, but I'm saying that if you, especially those that are not married, that you are still single and you are seeing yourself in relationships like this, then you need to check it, what is happening, so that you don't end up entering into a very bad marriage. So this is what that's what we are talking about. So because the truth is that if you are in this relationship like this, or it keep happening, you can't help what you don't know. You can't solve a problem you're not even aware of. Some people don't even know that, they don't even know that it's a problem. They just feel it's okay. probably because they have seen so much of relationship like that, or the people they know, maybe their parents or their friends have similar relationships, and they just feel it's okay. All right, so we are going to be unraveling a lot of things today. So before we continue, I would like you to, if this is the first time you are joining my channel, quickly go and subscribe to the channel so you can keep joining this conversation. We have this conversation every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. West African time. All right, subscribe, and somebody may need to hear this. Somebody, maybe you know somebody who you feel needs to really look into his or her relationship pattern. They need to learn about this toxic narcissistic relationship. Share this link with them, let them join the conversation, and let's create awareness. Let's help somebody. Okay, so what is toxic or narcissistic relationship? What does this mean? Let's start with a definition. So when we say a relationship is toxic, a toxic relationship is a relationship where one person feels like the boss and the other person is at the receiving end. Now, if your relationship is, if you know if a relationship is toxic, if you feel drained instead of being supported, you are always giving, and you are giving a lot, emotion, money, time, and you kept feeling drained, is a toxic relationship. Or you feel confused instead of secured. What should a relationship do to you? A relationship should protect you, should preserve your sanity, should make you feel loved, should make you feel supported. That is what social beings. And the truth is that if you are in a relationship and you feel drained, you feel you are not being supported, you feel that you are in a relationship and yet you feel alone, or you feel lost in that relationship, or you feel confused, you are not secured, it is toxic. It is toxic if you feel anxious instead of peaceful. A true relationship will make you feel peaceful. Why do we have a relationship? Because you want to communicate with somebody. You want somebody that you can always walk up to when you are in danger. You want somebody that you want to love. See, this love, everybody deserve love, deserve to be loved, and deserve to love. So when you are in a relationship, you are not feeling that love. You are giving so much and you can't feel it. You are feeling exhausted all the time. In fact, you are afraid. I've been in such a relationship before. And when I'm talking about relationship, yes, majorly maybe romantic relationship, but even same maybe colleagues or same sex relationship, platonic relationship that is same sex, or in a workplace environment, sometimes could also be toxic relationship. It's not only romantic relationship that goes toxic. In fact, boss, either it is vertical or horizontal relationship, also goes toxic. So, and you need to feel safe. If you are in a relationship with anybody, whatever form of relationship we are talking about, you need to feel safe. So when you are constantly giving but not receiving, you are the one that is always giving, you're always feeling concerned about somebody, you're always the one feeling like, oh, my friend needs this, you are the one that's always concerned about somebody, then that relationship is toxic. It's toxic. So you need to know if the relationship you are, is this giving you, are you being supported, are you feeling loved, do you feel yourself as part of that relationship, or you feel like you are being used? If you feel you are being used in a relationship, it is toxic, it is narcissistic. If you are the one that is, you always the one saying sorry even when you don't have to say sorry, it's a narcissistic relationship. So before I continue, I want to know where you're connecting from. So let me know where you're connecting from. Where are you connecting from? I would like to know. I'm talking to you from Nigeria. All right, so let me know where you're connecting from, whether you're watching this as a replay or you're watching it with me live here. Let me know where you're connecting from. So a narcissistic relationship is often manipulation. The narcissistic people manipulate their partners. Manipulation, lack of empathy, control. A narcissistic person is always controlling the other person, manipulating the other person. They lack empathy. They always gaslight, always making you feel you are the one responsible for whatever is happening in that relationship. Yes, let me know where you are connecting from. All right, let me know where you're connecting from. Then when there's emotional inconsistency, today there's so much love, there's so much romance, tomorrow is fight. Or in the morning you woke up feeling being loved, the next thing is quarrel. It is a toxic relationship, and nobody, I say nobody deserves to be in a toxic relationship. It's very important. So but there is something a very important part. What makes people get stuck in a toxic relationship? Usually this relationship don't start toxic. That's the truth. It doesn't always start toxic. As a matter of fact, most relationships that goes toxic or narcissistic relationship starts very friendly, very charming, very off the ground, off the roof type. Let me share a story. I actually entered into a narcissistic relationship some times ago, but thank God of awareness. So when I keep saying awareness is key, I'm serious about it. So what happened? I met this guy some years back, very charming, very handsome, very romantic. He just all over me. I mean all over me. I have never had a relationship like that before. And then what actually got me thinking and suspicious was the way the love was rushing. It was too much. It was a hot relationship. And I was feeling scared that, is this okay? Is this normal? Is this just fine? What could be wrong? I was questioning the relationship inside of me because I've never had such a relationship before. Then this guy came into my life, was all over me, was showing love, was going everywhere with me. Everywhere I go, he wants to be there with me. In fact, it was checkmating my movement. That was where I got really, really angry. There was a day I was running a program, I was running a French course. Yes, I was doing a French. I wanted to learn another language, so I signed up for a French course, and I went to the French class. And then none of my siblings has ever visited me. Why would they come? I left work then I was still working as a nurse, closed from my workplace, and went for my French class. And then within few minutes, about 10 minutes, I was told somebody was looking for me. And I said, somebody looking for me here? Why? And then I went out and it was him. I was crazy. I was mad. I was like, why? Why did you come looking for me? He said, I just want to be sure that I'm going to exactly where I said I was going. I said, really? That means you don't trust me. And when there's a trust issue, it's a big deal. We have not yet married. We are not even talking about marriage yet. We're just friends. And he was already checking on me. I said, this is dangerous. This is very, very, very dangerous. And not only that, within a short period of our relationship, he was already proposing marriage. It was too much. The whole thing was like a drama. We met in a few months. He wanted to get married. He wanted to know my family members. He wanted to know everything about me. As a matter of fact, I doesn't have a job, and he wanted to get married. And then when I get a salary, he wants to get my money. I want me to give him my money. And all of those things were scary for me. I was very, very scared that this is not a relationship I want. I don't want to be the one sponsoring my man. I don't want a man that is dotting all over me. Some people like it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but if the dotting is a good dotting, no problem. Not when, of course, we were together and I went for a class, and then the next thing you are coming to check on me if I was exactly where I said I was going. And I was like, if this can start as a relationship, of course in marriage there will be problem with trust. And I cut off that relationship. So what am I saying? we have to be vigilant. You need to be observant. You don't get carried away love, and you are not looking at the dots. You are not looking at the. You are not looking in between line. You are not being suspicious. I mean, not suspicious. I think that's the wrong language. You are not vigilant. So when a relationship is too intense, very charming, too charming, you know, be careful. Now, most times this narcissistic relationship starts as a perfect relationship from beginning. Those people, they seem to be too loving, and that is why many people get stuck, because when it becomes toxic, they are looking for that beginning expression they met when the relationship started. That is why many people get stuck in this kind of relationship. So what are the important truths about, you know, toxic relationship or narcissistic relationship? It's not a random, it's not, it's not, you know, it's not something that just happen like that. It's always intentional. Now let's go deeper. Now, attracting toxic relationship is not a random thing. It's often pattern. It's a pattern, especially if it is a repetition. It's always happening. Then it's forming a pattern which you need to look into. Now, patterns sometimes happen, most times they come from your years of, you know, experience. Probably you grew up seeing toxic relationships. Some people grew up in a family where the parents said they love each other, but there's always abuse, there's always beating, there's always something, you know. If you came in a family where there's toxic relationship, and I've met people who, you know, torture their wives and then take the wives to the hospital and then start doting over them, buy flour, and then start being nice all over again. If you have seen so much of that, it's possible your system, your mind has taken it for normal. All right? And then it's not always consciously. It doesn't, I mean, it's most times they come from early experience, not always consciously, but emotional. It's also, you know, it's also important for us as, you know, especially singles. As much as you put your emotion forward when you are starting a relationship, your emotion should not override your reasoning. Should not override your reasoning. Your reasoning must be very important. It means it's very important in a relationship. I'm talking to singles because you have not entered it's not a marriage thing. It's not yet a marriage thing. You are still checking each other. So when you are seeing all these signs I've mentioned, don't close your eyes. Don't overlook it. Don't assume, because like I said, narcissistic relationship starts loving, romantic, with intense love. You know, don't overlook it when it's becoming toxic. Now, there is a trauma researcher, you know, said that our bodies and nervous system store past experiences. His name is Dr. Basil Van Der Kolk. So that our body stores trauma experiences, like I was sharing earlier. If, for example, you grew up in a toxic family, your body has stored those stored trauma. And when you enter into a toxic relationship, your nervous system quickly recognizes it as normal, and it is not. So even when you think you are moved on, sometimes people who have this repetitive relationship, you think you have moved on, your system may still be responding to it as a familiar thing. So for those that are joining this channel for the first time, I encourage you to go through the channel and see my previous videos. We've talked extensively on trauma, childhood trauma, how childhood trauma affects us as individuals, as adults, as, you know, in different things. And we're talking about how trauma affects, you know, how people become stuck in narcissistic relationship and how you can come out of it. So if you have experienced trauma before in relationship, probably from your parents, it's possible that your brain sees it as something familiar, and then your brain absorbs this and begin to cope with it. And that is why you need to be aware. Why is this thing happening? What is happening? So it's not about you. It's not that you are, it's not that as if something is really wrong with you. It's because your brain has taught trauma as something normal. Your brain is already familiar with it. So this is about what did you, now if you have been experiencing traumatic relationship, don't be quick at just jumping into another relationship. Ask yourself, what did I learn from that previous relationship? What did I learn from it? What happened? What did I learn from that relationship? You want to ask yourself so that you can trace it and avoid subsequent one. It's important. Now, I'm going to be sharing 6 major reasons why you attract toxic relationship. 6 reasons, and you need to check yourself. Is these things I'm mentioning, are they by any chance recurring? Are you seeing yourself in all of these points I'm going to be mentioning henceforth? So number 1 is that you were conditioned to accept less. In my, I think 2 weeks ago or there, I talked, or last week or something, I talked about how childhood trauma affects your self-worth, your self-confidence and self-worth. Now, if you have low self-esteem out of childhood trauma, you have been conditioned to accept less. You don't really, your value for yourself is low. So you grew up in an environment where your needs were ignored, where your love was inconsistent. Imagine an environment where there's always quarrel, there's always fights. You are not sure if you are going to meet peace or you are going to meet chaos. There's inconsistency. Obviously, you can't expect too much. Your mind has been programmed to expect less. You have learned that you have to earn affection, you have to earn love. You might have learned that there is a way that is the way love looks. For example, imagine a child that grew up in a family where the father beat up the mother, and then the father took the mother to the hospital, then they brought the woman home, then the same man that beat her up started massaging her, started buying ice cream, and then it looks like, what's happening? Daddy just beat mommy up, took her to the hospital, now he's taking care of her. What is happening? Okay, maybe that's how love is. Your mind has been deceived to think that is what love looks like. No. And because your mind has conceived love that way, it's possible you begin to assume that is how love is. And when you see such, you just feel, okay, it happened when I was a child and it's happening again. It's normal. And so when you meet someone who behaves similar way, it feels similar. For example, there was a day I saw a video clip of a girl that says, and then she was actually saying it boldly, that you say your boyfriend loves you and the boyfriend does not beat you, that a boyfriend that does not beat a girl means that doesn't love that girl. I was shocked. And so that girl has equated beating to love. Well, obviously, probably her father or where she grew up, there's always constant beating. And then after beating, they say, oh, I love you, that's why I'm beating you. So in her brain, love equals violence. So even when that girl is in an narcissistic relationship, she will not even know because it is familiar. So you don't know the difference between healthy relationship and unhealthy relationship. So not healthy, you don't know what you don't. Your brain is familiar with something that unhealthy relationship as something normal, and you need to checkmate it. The second reason why people get stuck or have repetitive narcissistic relationship is you mistake intensity for love. Like I shared, I was in a narcissistic relationship. Thank God that relationship did not last more than maybe 3 months or 4 months. but that love was too hot. Maybe about 2 months. It wasn't up to 4 months. It was a very rapid, intense love. I couldn't cope with it because it was choking me. Now, why would you stay in a choking relationship? Because you are looking for validation. Probably over time, you have not really seen love. You have not really experienced love. You've not experienced anything that looks like real love before. And this one is coming with all intensity, and then you suddenly feel safe. You suddenly feel like, finally, I've seen someone that truly loves me. Because it is intense, you need to also, because when there's fast connection, there's strong emotion, quick attachment, be careful. Love is not rushed. Love takes process. Intensity is not the same. It's not the same thing as healthy love. Love is calm. Love is consistent. Love is safe. Somebody met you just few well, I don't know. I'm talking to different people from different culture and continents. I'm talking from the African mentality now. Somebody met you just within few weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you are going to get married. For me, it's too quick. It's too quick. It's too quick. Even within 2 months, it's too quick for me. Because you want to test the love. You want to be sure that that relationship is genuine, that the love is genuine. It's not, you're not just rushing it. Because there are so many things to learn in people. There's so many things to learn in a relationship, especially if it's a relationship that wants to last. You want to know, you want to discuss so many things. You want to discuss how your life is going to be after marriage. You want to discuss how many children are we going to have, how are you going to cope if there's an emergency. Things can happen in marriage. Things can happen. Somebody may have a good job and lose it. These are things you need to discuss before you get married. Okay, if something happens, how do we cope? Okay, should somebody, are we the two of us going to be working? Or somebody can, these are things you need to discuss. And then somebody meets you within a speed of light, you are getting married. You will miss a lot of information. So when the relationship is too intense, when the love is too hot, please check it. Are you sure it is real? So if you are getting value already, I want you to give me a thumbs up. I want to know that you are getting value. I would like to know where you are connecting from. Put on the comments on the chat. Where are you connecting from? I would like to know where you're connecting from. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe as we go on this conversation. I believe you are getting value. The truth about this thing is, nobody deserves toxic relationship. Nobody deserves to be in a toxic relationship. You deserve to be happy. You deserve your peace of mind. You deserve your peace of mind. And I just can't imagine a relationship that wants to last and it is toxic. It doesn't fit. So the third thing that make people to stick into a toxic relationship or stick with toxic relationship or keep having repetitive toxic relationship is fear of abandonment. Fear of abandonment. Now, if you experience abandonment or emotional neglect when you were growing up, probably something happened, the mother left you, maybe there's a breakup, there's divorce, or maybe the father had a trouble, maybe the father went in prison, or there was a separation and you have to go to somebody, maybe your auntie's house or something, or you feel you were abandoned. There's this fear that I don't want my boyfriend to leave me. There's this fear of abandonment each time you enter a relationship. Like, are they going to leave me the way my parents left me? Or maybe a loved one died in the family and you felt abandoned. Or you grew up in a foster home and you never really felt loved. So there's this fear that when you meet somebody that seems to be loving, and then there's the tone of relationship changed, And then you begin to feel like, oh, I don't want to be abandoned. I don't want what happened to me as a child to happen again. Some people feel, oh, I don't want them to say I'm having multiple relationship. Oh, in Africa, they may say, oh, they don't want them to think I'm having several boyfriends and all of this. Would you rather die because you don't want people to say, oh, you've had number one, number two, number four boyfriend? No. So now if somebody have gone through abandonment before and it's like the relationship is going to break now, you want to hold tight. Sometimes some people ignore the red flag. Imagine the story I shared earlier of my boyfriend. We were together before I went for my French class, and then within the space of 10-15 minutes he came looking for me in the French class. And why did he come looking for me? Because he wants to be sure I went to the place I told him I was going to, which means he doesn't trust me. That's a red flag for me. It's a red flag. I can't imagine telling my spouse I'm going somewhere and then he starts checking on me. That means he too cannot be trusted. It means that if he tells me he's going somewhere, he obviously will lie about it. If you can't trust me. So that is a big red flag for me. That's a red flag. This same guy I'm talking about once told me that I poisoned his food. Oh my goodness. This was just a relationship. There was no promises yet. And he told me I poisoned his food. And I quickly imagined in my head that, okay, it means that if we get married, he will come home one day and I'll give him food. And I said, you poisoned this food. And he will not eat. And I said, no, these are red flags. If a guy slaps you once, he will give you punch 10 times. If a lady runs you down in front of your friends once, she rubbished you, demeanor your ego, she will do it multiple times. So you don't ignore red flags. This comes to you understanding your values. What are your values for relationship? What are your values? You need to have clear values that you cannot trade with. Now, sometimes some people actually see the red flags, but they stay longer than expected because they think it will change. You think the guy will change. You think the lady will change. You think you can help them to change. You are not God, though. You are not Holy Spirit. You are a human being. You don't have the power to change anybody, especially if they are not ready to change. You can't change anybody. So don't play God in people's life. Because you love some qualities in the person does not mean you have to end up in marriage. No. Like I tell people sometimes, I've said it a number of times, loving somebody does not always equal to marriage. Now you love somebody so much does not mean you will end up as a married couple. When everything is wrong except that we are in love. It's not a relationship that must end in marriage. So the first reason why people get stuck in toxic relationship is that you are people pleaser. You give a lot. You are giver. You give, and you don't even care that you don't receive. You sacrifice all the time. You tolerate everything because you are trying to build a relationship. Now, sometimes you actually know this relationship is not working, it's not leading anywhere, but you are still stuck in it. It's dangerous. Now, you may struggle to say no. Maybe you struggle to say no. Some people find it difficult to say no when things are not right. If you're the person that struggles to say no, you rather please others than to say no to something wrong. You don't set boundaries. Then you will end up having multiple toxic relationships. Now, this is not because you're actually weak, but because you were trained to prioritize other people. Now, sometimes there are some families that you grew up in an environment where your needs are not met. Other people's needs are always priority over your needs. Then, and you have not outgrown it, you have not retrained yourself, it's possible you enter this kind of relationship all the time. Now, the fifth reason why people get stuck in toxic relationship is you ignore the red flag. Like I said, if you are going to build a healthy relationship, you must have your values. There's some values you cannot trade with. And when those values are tampered with or ignored, they are red flags. So sometimes you see signs, but you make excuses for the person. You say, it's because he was stressed. Imagine somebody coming to visit. Oh, I can't. That experience will not leave my brain or my mind. We were together, and I said, I'm going to my class. And after 10 minutes, you came. It's a big red flag. I can't afford to ignore that. So I now excuse for him. I say, just because he wanted to be sure he wants to trust me. And then I begin to do everything to prove myself that I'm trustworthy, to prove to him that I'm a trustworthy person. No. I don't have to prove to him that I'm trustworthy. Is that how you trust me and we build a relationship based on trust, or we go our ways? Because if you can't trust me, then you is not trustworthy. Or you minimize behaviors. You see behaviors that are serious. For example, somebody shared with me in marriage, her husband, destroyed her laptop. She was writing her thesis, and she was at the verge of submitting. I think she was going to submit or something, and then something happened, and her husband destroyed the laptop. And when I started asking her, she shared so many other things with me, and I asked her this question: that did you notice any of this sign in relationship? She said yes, she did notice this. She noticed there was a time something happened and the guy was so angry and he smashed her laptop. That was just relationship. She was in school then, and you ignore such a thing. What kind of anger will make a man to smash your laptop? And she was also writing her project that time, and the thing repeated itself in marriage. So you can't afford to ignore some behaviors. You are not the person's mom. You're not his dad. You are not his mom. You're not her dad. So you can't fix that person. So you can't afford to say, you will change. By the time by the time we start continue, if he becomes born again, I will lead him to Christ. I are giving excuses. After all, he prays. He's a praying brother. He's a church guy. He's singing in choir and all of those things. He's a born again. He speaks in red hot tongues. No. Don't ignore red flags. Now, if you hope they will change, I've said that repeatedly, because you want the relationship to work by all means. I've seen ladies that, oh my goodness, some people invest in relationship. They invest so much. Or you're a guy. Yes, some people actually sponsors a lady to school, do all sorts of things, and you have made this lady cheating on you a number of times, and you feel by the time I get married to her, she will change. It doesn't work that way. You are not Jesus Christ too. You can't change people, especially if they're not ready to change. It's not your duty to change people. And the sixth reason why people stay in toxic relationship is that you are trying to fix people. It's always very common. It's common in a lot of women. Some people will pity party relationship. They say, because he doesn't have a mother, you are excusing. You want to now stand in the gap of the mother. No. Sometimes you see some potential in the person. You feel the guy is neat, he's smart, he's intelligent, she speaks eloquently, she has a high network job, she meets, you have qualities that you love in that person, and you are now feeling that, so if he has all of these things, he's a Christian, he's firebrand, he's this, and then you feel if you can stick in that relationship longer, the person is going to change, or you can help them to change. No. Or you want to help them heal. You believe love can change everything. Love cannot change everything. Love cannot change everything. No. As a matter of fact, if you see red flags and you ignore it, by the time those red flags become real things, love disappear. So for example, I tell people who maybe you have results, maybe you have genotype, you have genotype in comparison issue, and you say, oh, because we love each other, we are going to cope, and then you maybe you are AS, the other person is AS, or you're SS, something like that, AS, SS, and decide to say, okay, when we love is strong, let's continue, and then you go ahead and fall in, you continue the relationship, and you enter marriage and you start having children. By the time you have a sickle cell child, and then you now face the pain of nursing a sickler, a sickle cell disease child, love disappear. Love will run, love will go, or you end up into a relationship with someone that is very toxic, and you have seen this toxic behavior before marriage. Love will run. So love alone cannot keep a relationship. Love is not strong enough to keep some things, to melt some behaviors. As much as you work on love is a strong emotion that brings two people together, but you cannot afford to ignore red flags, behaviors that are very questionable, and then you hinge it on love. Love alone is not enough. You cannot heal someone who is not willing to heal themselves. You can't. So if you are seeing yourself in any of these things that I've said so far, I want to let you know now, number one, there is nothing wrong with you. It's not that you are crazy or you are bad or something. It's just that you have learned negative pattern over time. You have learned your system I've seen those negative things as normal. Your system, your nervous system, your brain, is familiar with those painful experiences. And that is, you have learned it over time. And I want to let you know that anything you have learned, you can unlearn it. If you learn pain, you can unlearn it. There's nothing that you can unlearn. For last week, I talked about the neuroplasticity of the brain, that the brain can relearn. That's a beautiful thing, and you can unlearn. So now let's quickly share why many people stay in toxic relationship. Now this is very important. Attraction is one thing, staying is another thing. Attraction is one thing. You may be attracted to somebody, but when you have seen that this relationship is not healthy, you decide whether you want to stay and save your brain or save your peace of mind. You want to stay. So why do people stay? There's hope. They are hoping that the person will change. There's fear, emotional attachment, low self-worth. So if you did not watch my video last week, go to my channel and look for the video I shared, and the video that's titled how trauma affects your confidence and self-worth. If you have low self-worth, you can remain in a toxic relationship for as long as possible. So you need to rebuild your self-confidence. You need to prize yourself. You have trauma bonding. Some people are in toxic relationship, but they feel helpless because they have what is called trauma bonding. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay? Trauma bonding happens when pain and love are mixed together. You have pain, someone is traumatizing you, the person beats you, and then you are still stuck. You can't let go. It's called trauma bonding. So you feel connected even when you are hurting. I met a lady I'm working with recently. She was in a very toxic relationship, and she could not withdraw. She kept saying, I love him, and the guy is traumatizing her, seriously. And when she eventually snapped out of that relationship, she has been broken. She went into depression. So your mental health is very important in every relationship. You cannot afford to sell your mental health because you want to be in love. There are so many love out there, and I've said this times without number. Your heart is not actually meant for just one person in the whole world. Of course, there are level of love for different kind of people, but then if the love is hurting you, then you need to think twice. Now let's talk about how you can begin to heal. How do you heal? How do you break from that pattern of toxic relationship, narcissistic relationship? The number one thing and the most very important thing is awareness. Build self-awareness. I can't overemphasize the importance of self-awareness in healing. That is where healing starts. Understand your pattern. What are those things that make you to keep having toxic relationship? Is it fear of abandonment? Is it trauma bonding? Is it whatever it is? Think about it. What is it? Sit down and analyze it, because your life matters, your health matters, your mental health matters. Define love. What exactly is love? As a matter of fact, you can't give what you don't have, but you can learn. Even if you would never experience love, you can understand it. You can decide to learn what love actually is. Then we define what love is. What does love mean to you? What are the signs of love to you? What are your deal breakers? What are your values? If you know you have low self-worth, build it before you enter another relationship. If you have low confidence, build it before you don't break a relationship and enter another one immediately because you are looking for love. Build your self-confidence, build your self-worth, heal from trauma, then decide to enter into a healthy relationship. Next, set boundaries. Learn what to say. Learn how to say no without feeling guilt. Like I shared my last video, no, N-O, is a full sentence. Learn how to say no, set boundaries without feeling guilty. It's your world. It's your life. You need to protect it. Then heal your inner child. Heal from your roots. If you came from a very toxic family, understand that it was not normal. It's not normal. Growing up in a home where there is always chaos, always fight, always cursing, always there's no certainty is not healthy. So heal. Get a coach. Get a course on trauma recovery. Heal. Get a book and read. Heal. You deserve healing. Why? Because if you are not healed, the possibility that you can transfer your trauma to your spouse or your hurting people hurt other people. So if you are not a healed person, the chances that your spouse will suffer what you experienced as a child, and it wasn't their fault. Choose differently, even when it feels unfamiliar, because you are used to trauma. Now you need to I've met people who really have never experienced love before. They never experienced what genuine love means, and when you begin to show them true love, they are afraid. So even when what you are seeing doesn't look familiar, maybe all your life what you know about relationship is toxic, beating, and then you see someone that is now friendly, not beating, not violence, please embrace it. Violence is not love, People have lost their life in toxic relationship, in marriage, and then leave their children confused. Marriage should not be a place to feel unhealthy, unhappy. Building relationship should not be a do or die affair. No. So because healthy relationship may feel unfamiliar to some people, you need to, feel confident building a healthy relationship. Seek help if you feel you have been in serious toxic relationships. It has been repetitive. You've not been consistent. You've not had a consistently long love relationship. You need help. Get a therapist. Speak to a therapist. Get help. Don't ignore it. Now let me leave you with this. You're not attracting toxic relationship because you are broken. You are attracting what feels familiar to you, but you can choose differently. You can decide henceforth and say, enough of this toxic relationship. I want to build a healthy relationship. You can snap out of that relationship. You can heal. You can build healthy, safe, fulfilling relationship, because your mental health matters. You need to heal. You need to be a happy person. So I believe you have got value for today. If what you have heard today, this video has really helped you, or you feel it's going to help somebody, quickly share the link to somebody who needs it. And then click on subscribe to my channel and choose healthy love. Choose healthy love. So if what you have learned so far, if I have been speaking to you, I want you to type on the chat, I choose healthy love, or share your experience. Please don't share too much, but we would like to hear from you. Have you ever entered any toxic relationship before? How did you break from that relationship? What did you do differently? If you have been in a relationship that is very toxic before and you have been able to snap out of it, I would like to hear from you. Share experience on the chat and let other people learn from you. Alright? So subscribe to my channel and join me next week as we go on another conversation of healing conversation with Patricia Abokede. And remember, every healed adult raises safer children, and every safe child raises build a stronger nation. So choose healing, choose character, choose to be different, and I'll see you next time in my next video. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Love you. Bye.